It's hard to understand the way that you went out. I bet you're living with a little hint of doubt. Maybe next time when you gotta show your hand, you won't cut and run, you'll finally make a stand. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Existential questions always get you down. All you want to know is are we lost or found? Is there something that you feel you need to chase? I bet you thought you put me in my place. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. You can run, you can hide, but inside, I'm finally getting to you. Yes, it's true. I still love you, but I am getting to you.
Stand by to initiate release sequencer. On my mark. 5,
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2, 1. Mark.
Welcome back to the Resupply with me, guy next door.
And me, DK, with a very messy apartment. I'm sorry, everybody.
Bringing you guys your semi-regular double tap of all things Space Marines and Laserforce, and boy, do we have a show today.
We do? Oh,
Yeah.
goodness. Nobody told me.
We actually have some Space Marines content. As y'all will notice, the third leg of this tripod is not here this week. It's D&D
Oh,
week.
don't say tripod. You'll get me thinking about Sneak again.
Those shorts.
In the words of Micro, them thighs, though.
Damn thighs, though. How are you this week, man?
Oh, I don't know. It's been a very mixed week. On the one hand, looking forward to playing some laser tag. On the other, I am scared to death that we're all going to get COVID and Russ is going to be like, I told you so. And we have water damage in our apartment.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things happening.
Well, he's put in chat, like, I only want to hear about DK's plumbing adventures.
Oh, let me tell you.
Yeah. Sit back, kids. Let me tell you about pipe wrenches and things. Hello, everyone.
Always get your toilets checked, kids. Don't forget to backtrack,
Yeah.
buy travel insurance, and make sure your toilets aren't leaking.
Yeah, always buy that home insurance, kids. Home and contents is what you need. Hope everyone in chat is doing good today, tonight, whatever time of your Saturday/Friday this is.
With us being such an international success, obviously we're streaming in several time zones. So, yay for us. We'll try and make this a decent show. I'm nursing somewhat of a hangover. My my cousin came to hang out with me last night. Well, cousins actually came to hang out with me last night. It was awesome to see them. But he bought multiple bottles of whiskey, and we drank them both. So, yay for Steve. That's all right. I have my Powerade. I have some donuts sitting over there. It's not a bad way. Not a bad way.
So save a life and smash that hydrate bot.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. No fireball. Oh, yeah, here they come. Here they come. Hang on. Cheers, everyone. No fireball. I don't do fireball. That's not my thing. Yeah.
Fucking heretic.
Yeah, to the chagrin of some, I don't do fireball.
Yeah, I might have to change my name for the upcoming tournament. I don't think I can be Fireball DK in Utah. I don't think that's allowed.
So what would you change it to? Like, regular DK.
Hashtag real DK, not fake DK like in Auckland.
Hashtag no imitation DK. Look,
although I'm gonna have to surrender my title after the tournament run that he had. He might be real DK now.
So
I might be the imposter.
I mean, he gets to play Laserforce, so there's a massive difference. Excuse me.
I have no defense against that.
So DK, we'll get into the tournament and stuff shortly. But yeah, DK actually played awesome. Like, he's a good player, and I was kind of hoping to get that out of him in Sacramento when we came over. But obviously he became patient zero, and yeah, we all remember how that went. Morning, Dolly.
Yeah, it ended in me getting sick.
Exactly, and me watching. It was great.
World's best Airbnb host, everyone.
Yeah, what you watched the TV. It was like I was a modern child. Good morning to everyone. It's nice to see all your lovely names popping up on the screen. I thoroughly enjoy everyone's attendance. We'll get into the crux of what happened this week soon from a stats and results perspective. But as many of you know, we got to play a fair bit of laser tag this week. And I hate to make anyone jealous or envious, but it was outstanding. It was really weird because it felt kind of, it had that Nats feel to it, but it wasn't Nats. The thing that was missing was all of you guys, which was a shame, but we still got to play, so you're all a little crazy jealous.
So fuck y'all.
Yeah. But the tournament, man, wow, what a great format. For anyone that didn't know, it was. Okay, well, I'm just gonna recap because why not? Triple threat tournament, Auckland triple threat tournament. We played over 3 days at 3 different Laserforce sites. It was 3 aside, and you had to mix teams of 3 with each other to get your teams of 6, and it gave such great variety to the games, and such great parity as well. Like, with some of those games, like, we had a couple of ties, which I've only seen a couple of other times in the last 17 years of playing this game competitively.
Like, the actual score of the game was tied, not your modified score?
No, the actual score of the game. Oh, one tie. Yeah, one.
Even so.
Yeah.
One at a tournament, that's definitely
crazy.
Not usual.
Yeah.
It's a rare occurrence. It has happened, but yeah, not real usual.
Yeah. And so, like, the teams were all, I think due to the salary cap, were for the most part really even. There was a couple of outliers. We've got provided a document that has people's values and how they changed compared to how they were at the start of the tournament. Man, it was really cool. I think it would be a cool thing to do to implement outside of nationals. For like regional star tournaments, if people were looking for another thing to kind of add to the variety of a standard Laserforce tournament. So
if we ever have another tournament in the States after next week, I would be game to try it.
I mean, just practice safe laser tag, kids. You'll be all right. A document is getting hot. You damn right it's getting hot. Right, so I guess from a admin side of things, like we try to stream the whole week, and I don't know, like I think most of you guys stopped in at least once or twice during the week. Monday was a complete wash at Botany when we tried to stream. We had all sorts of tech issues, mostly because none of us had been out there. We hadn't put our sticky fingers on the systems there. So there were some teething issues there, but for the most part the maze itself played really cool. There's nowhere really in that maze that you can actually resupply. There's maybe one place, and it's less than ideal, so it means that shit gets really difficult, especially if you have some competent attackers heading your resupply. So that was pretty fun. Day 2 at Game Over, which is our like secondary site, I'd say.
Home of the Reggie.
For anyone that didn't see, we got some photos with our mascot Reggie, rocking some resupply merch. That day was awesome. Specific, like for me especially, I had a great day that day. Because
you did have a good day that day.
Oh, it was so much fun, man.
I smashed up some people.
Yeah, I had a game. I had the best commander game that I think I've ever had. And I was one special point off a 6th nuke, which I've never done before. And it was magical, but also frustrating to get that close and not be able to get a 6th nuke. But
why'd you need 6 nukes? Should have just killed them all before that. Lazy playing.
Well, so that's the thing. The reason I think I love that maze so much is I didn't have to run. I could stand still and shoot everyone.
I get the feeling I will be pining for that kind of maze in a couple of days.
Okay, you're all right? You're breathing okay? No, not really. And we still lost that game. You're absolutely right, Stallion. That really pissed me off too. It was terrible.
Oh, you lost that game?
We lost that game.
Well, what are you bragging about then? 6 nukes, you didn't even win.
I came out, I think I was so mad. I was just like, what the fuck more do I have to do? Just typical diva guy next door doing typical diva guy next door things. But yeah, that was pretty cool. 19 special points left over equals inefficient. 100% right. No chair throws from me at all this week. Everything was
We were looking forward to it in chat. You disappointed many of us.
I did come out and vent. King sent me a video clip of me just like saying some dumb shit, and yeah.
We tried to do an F-bomb count for one of the games
that
came out, and we're a little upset.
Old guy next door, he gets a bit mouthy when he's angry.
I think Al said something to the effect of, "Oh, well, Steve's really started to mellow out in his old age," and I said, "He says as Steve drops 9 consecutive F-bombs." I think it was either Auntie or Smalley who started counting with me. It was like, "Nope, we're up to 9, 10, 11."
That sounds about right. I consider myself a reasonably nice dude, with the exception of if I'm having a meltdown at Laserforce, like, you know, some sort of spoiled child.
I can attest to both of those things.
Yeah, just that real hot and cold. Yeah.
You're one of my favorite guys, but I know when you gotta give Steve a minute. Just
Yeah.
let him cool down, and then he'll be cool again.
Yeah. Someone I can't remember. Someone nicknamed it Red Stevo. They don't like Red Stevo. Anyway, so that was cool. Day 2 was really cool. Long day. We played 20 games. Sorry, there was 20 games played. I think we each played 16 with 4 ref breaks. And then who would do that? And then day 3 we dropped it back to a 15 game day, which was well appreciated, I think, by everyone, because our home site is much bigger than the other 2. It's got you know, ramps and upstairs, and there's far more running to be done. So saving the most physically demanding maze until the last day is a cruel trick, but it happened. But yeah, from a tech perspective, Gen 7 day 1 was really interesting, getting back to Gen 7 suits.
Trash.
Yeah. Upgrade, yo.
Fucking casuals.
Something that we did find out this week, actually, is Auckland now has a 4th Laserforce site. So Paradise Ice Skating Rink, which is where day 1 was. They have multiple sites around Auckland, and they've just put look at those disappointed grey faces in chat.
Like, I feel like that should be typed out in like that mix of lower and uppercase letter. Auckland has 4 laser tag sites.
4th site asterisks. But it's tiny. Apparently it's half the size of that arena, and that arena was already kind of small. It's only 10 suits. It's Gen 7. But, you know, we could technically go there and play Laserforce, so we might have to arrange that at some point. A little bit of a road trip out to Sneak's neck of the wood, out west. But yeah, that was kind of awesome to hear.
I'm sure it was.
We're quite lucky. We're hashtag blessed. 10 suits, you can't even do a proper party with that. Nah, I mean, like, maybe me, you know, no friend Steve could have a small birthday party there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing that place grow. That'd be nice to get like another proper site. we're just hoarding.
Yeah, save some laser tag for the rest of us, you jerks.
We also found out that, because I think last time we spoke to Stallion, we spoke to him a couple of weeks ago. We had just found out that we just told him that Napier down country had closed, but on the website it says that they're reopening again early next year. So hopefully that's another site that'll pop up in New Zealand.
That's encouraging.
Yeah. See you, Stu. Drive safe. Please don't crash on our account.
I'll see you tomorrow, Stu.
Yes. Are you? Oh,
yeah.
Is that where Stu's driving to now?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's on his way there.
Wow. So how long is that drive?
Oh, fuck if I know. He's doing it over like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah,
so it's a ways.
Yeah, I'd imagine it's like 20 odd hours.
Yeah, my understanding is he's crashing in Loveland tonight, and then he's gonna finish the drive tomorrow.
Right, and so like Loveland to Utah is still like 9 hours or something, right? Maybe not that much. Yeah.
7. I don't know. It's I mapped it, at least for me. When I Google mapped it yesterday, it's between like 10 and 10.5 from my place.
Yeah. I was literally just thinking that heathen crashing is a bad choice of words.
Using it in the American sense of the word.
Yeah.
Just hanging out on the couch.
Bro, the things that we do for this game drive 20 odd hours to go play Laserforce with your friends. There's the worst things you could be doing.
I would crawl through broken glass for 20 hours to play some damn laser tag right now.
There's got to be happiness in your life, peeps. It's important. It's important for your well-being. Right, should we get to results? Because I'm sure people are keen to actually hear results. I don't know how many people know what kind of happened at the end of the tournament outside of Auckland.
Yeah, let's hear the real results, not the hashtag fake news.
Right, so the final results. Actually, I'll preface this with a bit of a story. Sit back, relax, kids, grab a beverage. Uncle Guy next door is going to take you on a journey. So, we finished the tournament on Wednesday. We got home, myself and Scott sat down and we worked out a bunch of the stats related awards that we were going to do, and I'll get to those shortly as well because I get to talk about myself. And we gather up all we needed. I had gotten my hands on the trophy, the shield, the Gardner Brown shield. Which is the worst named award I think ever. But anyway, I brought it home with me so I could bring it to the awards dinner and present it. And it wasn't until we got about 2 streets away from the venue where I was like, fuck, I left it in my car. So we didn't have the main award when we turned up at the bar. the one thing to get presented, I forgot to bring. So anyway, we turn up to the awards dinner. We do all the individual awards, and then Greg hands me the envelope, the magic envelope, and I go through the results, and the first place team was my team. We won the tournament, and I was very stoked, very happy with myself, Sneak, Heathen, the 3 of us. Great job. Perfect. Won the tournament. Go home. I get a message in the morning from resident stats guru Morange, and he dropped some news on me, and he said, you didn't play a medic game at all yesterday. And I said, really? How many resupply games did I play? He said, you played 2 games of ammo, but you didn't play a medic game. Now, our rules specifically stated you must play 1 of every position. You need to play 1 of every position. And I said, oh, that's really interesting. Let's find out from Dimmy Hawk what happens when you don't play 1 of every position. Mind you, every single other player in the tournament all week managed to play 1 of every position. Except me.
The technical term for that, ladies and gentlemen, is cheating. Steve cheated.
Steve cheated. What a piece of shit.
What a dick.
So I left it with him, and he said, cool, these are the new results. So I'll go through the actual final results for the tournament. So in 5th place of the tournament, which was Tall Guys, hang on, where's the actual player list? Tall Guys, which was Morange, Know-It-All, and Red Odin. Red Odin being the owner of Auckland Laserforce in Wairau.
Oh, okay.
They came into 5th place. They were my pick of the tournament, and they came dead last. So obviously, I know exactly what I'm talking about. Good thing I have a podcast.
Great prognostications.
Yeah. In 4th place, with 16 wins, was Triple Tap. That was Paranoia, Godservant, and Ninja Jack. 3rd place. Oh, yeah, we got a couple hydrate bots. Hang on.
Yeah.
Cheers.
It doesn't look like there was much of a gap between 4th and 5th, though. Literally 0.3 points.
0.3 points.
So, very close.
Real close. I think it kind of came down to the ties. I think that's what it came down to. In fact, Tall Guys actually got 1 more win than triple tap, which is interesting. But yeah, it came down to the draw. Because there was a tie, we split the points between all four teams. In third place was yours truly, 2.5 Men, crashing from first place all the way down to the third because of this guy right here. Ruined the day for his teammates, but that's okay. Still had a great week. In second place, with a couple, like 2 more points than we got, 1 more win than we got, was Orbit, which was Light, Demihawk, and Zua. And the actual winners of the tournament in first place, Team Sulaco, which was 2K King, Imitation DK, and Stallion from Wellington.
Solid team.
It's real solid team.
Like, just throwing those names out there doesn't shock me that they won.
Yeah. Well, so Stallion was like a bit of a dark horse, if you will.
I see what you did there.
Because, obviously he hadn't played for a million years, and none of us knew how he would go. Once he got up, I was like, he looks in pretty good shape, so like, I wouldn't be surprised if he got his iron pretty quick. And he did. He played awesome. So, his actual value skyrocketed. Grey horse. But yeah,
it gives me some hope for next week.
If you pair that amount of experience with 2 other like Nats players, I mean that team on its own had more Nats experience than anyone else. Probably this is crazy. So yeah, massive congratulations to Sulaco for winning the tournament. I will find a wee little thing to get engraved with your names and put it on the Gardner Brown shield. Fuck that. It's so bad. I might have to paint over that shit. Let's see. What other results are interesting? There's an asterisk under day 3. This is 2.5 Men penalized 10 points as Guy Next Door failed to complete metagame. That's an interesting point in that one. Womp womp. You might have to come back up to Auckland just to see that, Stallion. I'll send you a photo, man.
It's like funny you mentioned that you had to like wait for the real results to come out after the data was collated, because like everybody is terrified in the States with like all our mail-in votes and stuff. Like the election results are going to change like a couple of days after the election, and there's going to be like mass anarchy. So it's like, I guess it already happened in laser tag. So
Well, we were joking about doing a Steve Harvey at the awards dinner. Like Greg was like, don't read the wrong name, ha ha ha, and then turns out totally read the wrong name. We had some interesting breakdown of how the teams did both in the attacking roles and the resupply roles. So basically, your threesome got put as either the attacking threesome, Commander 2 Scouts, or the resupply threesome, which was heavy ammo medic. In those results, it went from first to fifth. It went 2.5 Men, Sulaco, Orbit, Tall Guys, triple tap from an attacking point of view, and from a resupply point of view, it went 2.5 Men, Orbit, triple tap, Tall Guys, Sulaco. So Sulaco went from second in attacking to fifth in resupply, which was really interesting. Which again maybe kind of makes a lot of sense because Stallion in his heyday was an attacking player, and King is most definitely an attacking player who play either commander or scout most of the time. So yeah, I find that really interesting.
looking at the results, it looks like you guys, at least on average, your team, 2.5 Men, was first in both categories, and
Yeah.
yet you guys came third.
Yeah, well, that happens when you don't follow the rules.
Hmm.
Always follow the rules, kids.
Cheaters never prosper,
That's
ladies and
right.
gentlemen.
That's right.
Crime doesn't pay.
It was so disappointing. Um, the other interesting thing was the salary changes. Because the salary was based on people's MVP stats from the last however long. And for the most part, because a lot of us been playing a while, I think it's kind of it stayed about even. But the one significant, well, there's two significant jumps in value. The first was DK. DK jumped up by $100,000 in value, which was pretty significant. And Stallion jumped up by 130,000, which is massive. So with both of them being on the same team, with King, who also slightly increased but more or less stayed the same.
Yeah, basically equivalent from what I can see.
Yeah, brutal team. And that just came out of not knowing how Stallion was going to play. So, yeah. The other ones, everyone else kind of stayed around the same. Sneak had some good increase. I had some good decrease.
Yep, Guy Next Door and Morange have the distinction of being the two most overpaid players. Hashtag overpaid.
Still way overvalued. I think I should be like around that like late 700s mark. It's rigged. It's definitely rigged. There was also in the stats, they worked out who the strongest players at each position were. Hate to toot my own horn, but I'm in there a couple times. We had Sneak as the strongest commander, myself as the strongest heavy and the strongest scout, Paranoia as the strongest ammo, and Sneak again as the strongest medic. So
Commander and medic.
Commander and
Sneak.
medic, yeah.
He's a man of many talents.
So from that perspective, with me and him being on the same team, that also turned out to be a pretty strong combination as well.
I was pretty sure it would be from the start.
Yeah. And we had, so it was the two of us, and then we had Heathen, who was one of the least experienced players, which sort of balanced out the salary a wee bit.
Mm-hmm. Although it looked like he gained in value over the tournament too, at least by a little bit.
So there was they also worked out what the team values had changed to, and to be fair, most of the teams stayed around about the same, with the exception of Sulaco, who increased by $250,000 worth of value. So,
but having looked at the original stuff, though, I can't really blame you for kind of underrating Stallion based on, because you just don't know if somebody's been away for a while how they're going to play, and not to say that DK hasn't been a good player for a while, but he had a really good 3 days. At least the last two that I saw, I was like, yeah, he played real well. He was on a definite heater. So if he keeps that kind of level, then yeah, that's probably close to where he'll be rated.
Yeah.
If there's a little bit of a reversion to the mean, then oh well, you peaked at the right time.
Yeah,
that happens.
You're out, Russ. You're not hanging around. We'll see you when we see you.
Bye, Russ.
Stallion said 16-year break since he last played Space Marines. That's a long time. It's
like riding a bicycle, kids.
Yeah.
Never forget how to play Space Marines.
Exactly right. What was your new value, Heathen? It was you increased by 30,000, which is pretty cool. Yeah. What else was interesting? Yeah, so that increase in Sulaco's value is huge.
Yeah, unsurprising given that they won the tournament, and that kind of explains where that number shift came from.
Yeah, they did a really good job at changing their positions up. So I kind of bogarted the 3-hit rolls once the boys had played their mandatory games. I did give Sneak a few others, hence why he was the most valuable commander.
Oh, you're saying you just gave him a
Just
couple of
throwing him
pity
a bone.
games, and
Yeah.
he just crushed the riffraff.
Yeah.
Are you trying to say?
That's right. He did his part. Crush him with his python.
Blimey.
Yeah. I forgot where I was going with that. I sidetracked myself. I got confused. I was thinking about his
Talking about
shorts.
Sneak's Python will
Yeah.
do that.
No, gone. Doesn't matter. Moving on, kids. So we worked out a bunch of stats based on the brilliant LF stats page, courtesy of Mr. Maniac, Ross
The
himself.
guy who isn't here anymore.
Yeah, we give him some props now that he's left. I'd hate to think that he became less grumpy because we gave him compliments.
He's got too much hair. It's having the inverse effect. It's making you more personable, and he's getting grumpier.
Yeah, he needs to lean into the Fabio lifestyle. That's what I've done. You just embrace it like that. So we didn't unfortunately get any stats from day one, which was a real shame because we love stats. It would have been awesome to have them, particularly because guys like King, he felt that he played his best Laserforce at Botany. So to not have any stats from Botany was a real shame. But we can't win them all.
You got the trophy, bro. What more do you want?
Yeah,
Come on.
exactly right. You calm down, all right, mate. But we did individual stats for day 2 and day 3. Day 2 being at Game Over, day 3 being at YRL. I'll run through some quickly here because why not? I mean, we're here to talk about Laserforce. So we did a medic killer stats. I forgot to say, you may have found scorecards from day 1. We'll send through if they found them today. Oh, that'd be awesome, Heathen. Yeah, please. That'd be great. We can actually see some. I don't know if we can glean any website stats from them, but we can. It gives us something to look at, which is nice.
See what happens.
I did contemplate going back and watching the stream and seeing if I could count the medic hits that way, but people kept moving the screen around, and it's a friggin' nightmare. So
You didn't learn your lesson in 2008, I guess.
bro, as soon as the words came out of my mouth, I was like, "Yo, I'll just rewatch the day back." No, I'm not prepared to do that.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll probably watch back our days for fun in
Yeah.
St. George, assuming that we're going to stream, because I'm not going to have anything else to do in the evening other than answer student emails, but that's just for funsies.
Yeah. Are you guys gonna stream? Do you know if they're gonna set it up?
My understanding is yes, is that the stream had been set up. We've been talking with Beans about making sure that everything is good to go.
Yeah.
I don't have 100% confirmation on that, but my understanding is, yeah, we're at least going to be attempting that.
Right on.
I do know that, again, I don't know exactly what the bounds of this will be, but Aiden is planning to stream from his channel on Twitch. That's Odin's Penguin, for anybody who's interested. And Grack is going to be doing commentary in the Aiden spot. So the meme queen herself is going to be
really?
giving some live commentary
Hell yes.
on the games. Assuming that we can get that set up. I'm not making any promises here.
Wait,
but,
is she playing? Or is she just
she's not playing. She's just
another
tagging along for the ride. Because
another person to spread that virus? Perfect.
She is going to quarantine like everyone else.
Nice.
Is going to be wearing a mask at all times
Perfect.
in accordance with safety standards. I'll see if I can get any more details and post them tonight, because immediately after the stream is over, I gotta go over and see Autumn about fixing this hair so it can be in proper tournament mode.
I mean, it's looking pretty grey there, my friend. You're right.
That's the washout effect of the blue.
Oh, yeah.
And also probably a little bit of stress.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking old. So we're gonna rehabilitate that a little bit.
Give it some light.
With my stylist extraordinaire Autumn.
All you need to do is get yourself some fancy lights, and then just have the color bounce back at you. It's brilliant. You take this moon face and you add some color to it. Great. Right. No Ducky Hoodie didn't win Medic Killer this tournament, although he came close.
Yeah, he still should have found
He
a
was
way.
still in the mix. Tina, yeah, manual medic counts. Hard pass. No, thank you.
Much like life, Hoodlum finds a way.
That's right. You replaced yellow base of botany yesterday. Found that the scorecards may have been saved for every game. Awesome. That's awesome. Oh, the nuke didn't drop. That's really strange.
Hashtag canceled.
Let me see if I can fix
This
that.
cancel culture's getting out of control.
I'll see if I can fix that for you, because that's disappointing. I always like when the nuke sounds and scares the shit out of me. Let's have a look. It's still loading. We'll get there. Right. So, stats. Medic killer. Hang on. We're just gonna... Why is none of that working? None of that's working. Ain't gonna work. Sorry. Ain't gonna work.
Is this all on the stats website?
Yeah, all on. Yeah. Quality tech.
Let's see if I can get it to work here. Yeah, this is great.
Hey Matt, if you're around, are you able to refund Auntie 2 her points back, and we'll hit her up next time. Anyone else lagging? I hope not.
Oh no. Well, I only have it seen here broken down by day, because I have the wire out and the game over that are split into two different entries on the LS stats page.
Yeah. Yes. So I asked Russ if he could combine that into like a tournament event, but I don't think he's done it.
Looking very much to me though that you shouldn't have any trouble identifying who got medic killer, because that was you by a considerable margin.
By a considerable margin, yeah. But they uploaded the stats twice, and they were like, "Holy shit, you got 100 medic kills today!" I was like, "Well, that's seemed like a good body of work to put in." They're like, "Oh no, actually, sorry, the stats have been entered twice." It's like, well, that's disappointing. But yeah, so day 2 at Game Over, medic killer went to myself on 52. I can't see actually. Did you have any who came in sort of second and third for that?
DK was second with 50, and then 2K was third with 47. So still strong performance from that team.
Yeah, wow. So that's a lot of medic kills to come out of that
still
one
within
team.
5
Yeah.
of you. And then on day 3, it looks like Light was tied with you at 37.
37?
You guys were way ahead. Yeah, next down was Know It All, and he was 10 behind you guys at 27. Wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, but part of that, again, I played a lot of 3-hit, I suppose, which means that you're probably going to get more than everyone else, so...
So did you guys ever work out like what happens though if you're playing heavy and you're supposed to be the quote unquote the defensive team, like what kind of like bonus or advantage do you get for your hits?
So what we did, the points, there was a total of 10 points on offer per game. Now if you won the game, you got 5 points. If you got the elim, you got an additional 2. And then the remaining points were based on the remaining 3 points were based on the attacking threesome. So if the attacking threesome killed the other team's medic, I think they got points based on how many lives the medic had left. So if you killed out the other team's medic, you got 3 points as a attacking threesome. The defensive threesome, it depend on the status of the medics. So if your medic died out and their medic didn't, you got 0 points, and they got 3, right? But we were finding that the majority of games both medics die out. And so what happens is if both medics die out, then the points got split depending on who it got split between the heavy and the 2 resupply. So the heavy whichever heavy got the highest score, got a point. Whichever ammo got a higher score got a point. Whichever medic got a higher score got the point. So it gave a little more incentive for the heavies to not just sit back and play defensively.
Right.
Yeah, but rather, gives them more incentive to go out and try and kill the other team's medic. Yeah. And that worked out better than the original proposed plan, which was to be you got your points was based on how many lives your medic had left. But with the medic dying out the majority of games, it didn't really seem fair to the resupply threesome to be at such a disadvantage compared to the attacking threesome. I think they still were, which is why
the point seemed to suggest,
yeah, which is
there were way more.
Yeah, but that's why. So we rejigged the schedule to reflect people getting an equal amount of attacking and resupply games.
Right. Which I thought that was supposed to be the intention from the start, right?
It sort of was. We talked about it with Greg on the podcast, and he had created an algorithm based on your team's like experience, so built in like Nat's experience. There was all sorts of stuff that he built in to kind of counter it, but this was a simpler, better way, I think, and more transparent, so people knew the parameters that they were playing within, which I think people like to know. We had some more at Botany, which is where more of our team's minute kits are. Yeah, true. Which is partially why we broke it down into we did it per day rather than just having an overall medic killer award. They only had 4 attack games on day 3. Wow. At Wairau? Interesting. Didn't you say that... Oh, no, you said that there was a massive discrepancy between myself and Light and the next one down for day 3, yeah?
Yeah, it was 37, and then 27 for know-it-all was the third.
In the document we got sent through, there was a bunch of breakdowns of how many points each team won for the games, which is really cool. Maybe we'll make the summary available online somewhere. I'll talk to Greg about putting that up somewhere. The document. So yeah, what was the next stats-based stuff? MVP scores for day 2 and day 3. So I topped out both of those days. Yay for Steve.
Yeah, why are you gonna have me look this up? Just be like, I'm Steve, I'm the best. Of course I came in first.
But probably more interesting is the people that came in, after that. So day 2 had DK in second with 17.49 MVP. And then,
not surprising given how he kind of crushed that day.
Yeah, and then King was very close behind him on day 2. Day 3, myself, then Light, and then Morange. Morange said that he didn't feel like he performed his best this tournament, which is disappointing because I know that he sort of holds himself and to a pretty high standard. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you look at the salaries, if you're adjusting that based on MVP points, I guess that's kind of borne out. But
yeah,
again, 3 days of laser tag is a relatively small sample size, so probably there's a regression to the mean. But I've been there. Morange, it sucks when you're going to a tournament and you're hoping to make a statement, and then you don't feel like you play as well as you wanted to.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you have a tournament like DK did, where you get on a heater for a couple of days and you're kicking ass.
Yeah, I felt
That's
like
a good feeling.
In a similar spot to him. I felt like I didn't play well day 1 at Botany, and then felt like I kind of pulled it back day 2 and day 3, which is nice. Those mazes kind of suit me. I played there a bunch, so. So the overall MVP by position, and we had a minimum game played amount. So you had to play a minimum of 5 games in each of the a minimum of 5 games in the role in order to win MVP. And again, it was only based on the 2 out of the 3 days, so the results are probably a little skewed. But as the MVP commander, we had 2K King. You also couldn't win. You couldn't be both. You can only play one. MVP Heavy was myself. MVP Scouts were Morange and DK. MVP Ammo was Dimihawk. And
Nice.
MVP Medic was Zua, who is one of our newer guys, actually.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah. What do I miss in chat? You played super well at Botany and so at day 2 and 3, King. Yeah, I thought you played from someone, obviously watching. It seemed like you played pretty well at Wairau. And yeah, you played great at Botany. Yeah, and for whatever reason, you didn't really dig Game Over. Which I thought actually King was gonna really dig playing that arena. But he said that because it's so small, it takes away all of his speed. Which, is partially what makes him awesome, is how quick he is. So if you take
Well,
that
then how
away,
come you just sat in Helm the entire prison tournament? No, that's not using your speed to your advantage.
I bet he could get up in the helm real quick.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And he could get out of there and then move back in pretty quick, I guess. That's the part where people miss. Like,
That's
how does he
right.
hold Helm? I'm like, well, he doesn't actually sit there the whole game. I'm being a little facetious there.
Yeah. He just sits in the shaft all day until he gets flushed into the balls.
He pitched a tent in the shaft.
Brilliant. We had a bomb squad award, so players with the most nuke diffusers. So for day 2, I had 2, Sneak had 2, and then there was a number of other players that had 1 each. Bomb squad day 3, Ninja Jack had 2, and I think there was 1 or 2 other people that got 1 each. So kudos to them. People, what
Even
are you
the
doing?
number of games you guys played, that's kind of a lot.
That's a lot of nuke diffusers. Like for day 2, we played 20 games, and there was, from what I can see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 nuke diffusers in 20 games. Wow. That's so many.
Yeah, 1 every other game on average. That's quite a lot.
Yeah, and to be fair, again, Game Over site is quite narrow. There's not a whole lot of places to drop. And you're right, Stallion, some of those were desperation nukes when people get hunted. And
Even so, it happens.
Yeah. Nowhere to drop a Game Over? I did right. So yeah, those are the Bomb Squad Awards. And then the last one we had was Golden Gun Awards for accuracy. So day 2, that was Morange at 86.7%. And day 3 was Godservant at 85.45%. So
Not bad.
yeah, decent effort. Those were all of the kind of individual awards that we went through. The last thing in the document that Greg put together was things to change and things that were changed to make the tournament a little bit better. And we actually implemented 3 out of the 4 changes. We dropped the site multiplier, which was kind of something that was talked about on, I think, multiple pods before the tournament. We had talked about that as an idea. And initially, I was really on board with the multiplier. I thought it was a great addition. But because of the inconsistency with how many games each team gets to play in which roles on which color, the site multiplier wasn't exactly fair. It was hard to kind of make it fair, so that idea was scrapped before the tournament happened. we also had a win modifier. So based on teams' salary caps, a team got a handicap if, depending on how much more or less their total salary cap was as two teams of three joined together versus the other teams. And so that was supposed to make things even a little bit more fairer, but I think that's the point of a salary cap, right? Is that you kind of rank players
Generally.
Yeah. So we got rid of that one. We also got rid of we also made some shorter schedules, specifically on the Wednesday, to allow for breaks, because apparently 6 hours of straight Laserforce is too intense for people.
Yeah, again, to quote Al, what a surprise. It's day 3 of a tournament and tempers are getting frayed.
Even after day 1, man, day 1, and it felt like my coccyx had been separated.
Why are you laughing? It's the scientific name for your butt bone.
So I ran myself a bath when I got home that day, and filled it with bath salts and stayed in there for about 2.5 hours. It was just like, nah, I'm good. I can't move. This is my new life now. This is me. But yeah, you're right. Stuff was getting, tempers were flaring on the Wednesday.
Red Steve.
Red Steve came out. Yeah. King actually sent me a video of some rant that I was on, and watching it back is so embarrassing. You think that you'd think that adults would be able to hold themselves to a higher standard of decency than some of the shit that was being yelled, but yeah.
Clearly you haven't lived in the States the last 4 years.
True. True. Boy, oh boy. What a great 3 days. Oh, actually, sorry, the last thing that was suggested. So this, I think, if we do this style of tournament again, we'll implement this. So we change the must play each position once per day to the same player can't be a 3-hit in consecutive games applied uniquely to both positions. So you could play back-to-back commander and heavy.
And then, okay.
Yeah, but you couldn't play back-to-back commander heavy commander, because that would be 2 commander games consecutively.
Right.
So you'd have to play commander heavy scout or whatever, which I think is a great addition, assuming that people follow the rules. Because when you don't follow the rules,
most people can.
Almost all, in fact. So dumb.
You were winning on points, you had all the MVPs and stuff like that, but you just couldn't help yourself. What are you, Richard Nixon?
I prefer the term Icarus. Thank you very much. Looking at me, you should be looking at me, Shawnee. It was my bad. This guy right here, guilty. That would need to be tracked. Very hard to rely on the honor system for that. Yeah, I think for that particular scenario, Stallion, it would be. It's a little more complex than play everything once. It's funny because after day 1, that's a nice cap. Thank you for noticing this cap. It is a nice cap. There's a couple floating around the ether at the moment. What was I saying? Damn it, Matt. Sparkly.
Talking about changes about tracking if people have played positions
right.
more than once.
So Monday, we were tracking it. By we, I mean Greg, because he does all the hard work.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'll take the credit for it. So I was doing all the work and tracking the positions, and basically Greg was just like, look, people are doing a great job. Yeah, exactly right, Stanley. People are doing such a good job that he didn't have to worry about it. We'd just go on the honor system and assume people that were going to do what they were supposed to do. And for the like everyone did, and it's not like I didn't intentionally play medic. There was actually a game that I was supposed to, and I played ammo instead. And looking at the results of that game, we were playing against King's team, and the game was real close, and they could have potentially won that game if I was playing medic, and so it actually did make a massive difference. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You follow the rules for a reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, with the correction that was applied, that kind of means that the right team won then.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So
yeah. But yes, it was a great 3 days, man. The tournament format was like pretty much loved by everyone.
seemed pretty cool.
Yeah. Like the games were great to watch for the most part, because for the most part they were even. There were a couple of blowouts. Me and King had one particular game where he just went nuts. And I think that was a 6-minute game, 6-minute elim or something like that. It was.
Yeah, I don't remember if I saw that one, but there was another one where I think like you and King were both 3 hits on one team. I was like, well, this game's over.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Well, this isn't going to take that long.
And that kind of game is great to be a part of if you're the team doing the dominating. Not so much the other way. And I've been on the other side of one of those, and it sucks. But
yeah, I think that was the 13 F-bombs game.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. What the is happening? Yeah. Anyway. Ninja Jack has said in chat, 18 people would have been better. It absolutely would have been better. I think more people
Probably.
are better.
It would have been cleaner anyway.
Yeah. You get more refs, absolutely. Refereeing in this, like for this tournament, wasn't super necessary. There was a couple of things that happened, but for the most part, if somebody had done something like track someone, and the player they had tracked was like, yeah, I haven't been up yet, for the most part, people were like, my bad, and they would leave. They would back off.
Yeah.
I did have
Which
it.
is yeah. Go ahead.
It's a great way for the tournament to be played. It's such a good spirit to play the tournament in. I did dick one of the other players out of a missile because of it, which I felt incredibly bad about. Stallion, except that time that you missed with me as I was telling you that, GND. I'm an asshole.
He's already a confessed cheater. What more do you want, Stallion?
Yeah. This guy here, don't trust this face. What a jerk. Apologies to you, Stallion. Apologies. Yeah, but for the most part, the tournament was played in really great spirit. Like good sportsmanship, great competitive games. Playing in multiple sites 3 days in a row is a luxury that I wish everyone had. I wish people had like one site to play it. But getting to play in 3 different places was awesome. So if you're in an area that has that luxury, take advantage of it. Get to know the owners. Don't be a jerk. And they'll look out for you. And as long as you treat their shit with respect, like usually people are okay with you. Did you have any like thoughts on the tournament from like a spectator perspective?
Well, again, I had to kind of cycle in and out because I needed to make sure that I had a whole stack of papers graded before I took off this week, and I was having home repairs and whatnot. But
Yeah.
from a spectator's point of view, I thought it was really cool. I didn't always know immediately like what was happening in the next game, but it was easy enough to figure out like, okay, I know that this group of 3 is on offense here, this group of 3 is on defense here, so on and so forth. Like once you kind of got used to the way that it proceeded, I'm like, okay. I didn't necessarily know what was coming up next, but from a perspective, that's actually expected. That's kind of interesting. It's like, oh, I don't know what the next game's going to be. This could be really interesting. I have no idea what's going to happen.
I'd imagine like looking at some of the matchups as well is kind of a cool thing. Because there's some names that people will recognize, and you can see how they match up against the others that you do recognize from Auckland, especially. Because I think a large portion of maybe half of the players that played have popped up, either with previous nationals or mostly previous nationals. I think a bunch of the guys came to Brisbane 2 years ago and met a bunch of the community, which was cool. You talked to the botany owners last night, and they're really happy about how the day went. Oh, I'm glad. I talked to them a little bit as well during the day, and they were really excited to see, people doing more than just standard laser tag. I think they were fascinated by it. So, yeah, if they're watching, thanks again for letting us come hang out at your house.
Yeah. I think, it's good to see when owners see the capability of what the game can be when it's played at a high level, when it's played in a competitive atmosphere.
Yeah.
If that can be something that's productive and is, community focused and is welcoming to other players and isn't something that becomes a detriment to the business, I think they get pretty interested in that.
Yeah, for sure. It just adds another bow to the repertoire that they have available. So they were very excited because I basically, I was like, look, when you guys first opened, we came out, we had some games, and in our mind, we were very excited because it meant that, well, now there's a possibility of growing another site. There's a possibility of having a intercity tournament scene. We go there once a month. They come to us once a month, whatever the case is. But it just didn't really pan out that way. They just haven't been able to boost their membership. It's just something they haven't been able to do, and so we sort of we're going through some stuff as to how other places do it, and hopefully they can take some of that stuff.
It's still got to be a little bit tough right now because I know that you guys have mostly been off of COVID restrictions and stuff like that, but I'm sure that there's still a little bit of a gap in getting back to totally normal life.
Sure.
So, maybe over the coming months that will improve and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I'm just happy you guys were able to pull that off. I think it's a really cool concept, and I wish it were something that were available here in the States, because the only place that I know of that we even have anything like sites that are close enough to do that kind of thing is in Portland, where they have two sites that are very close to each other that are both part of FECs, and nobody actually plays there, but
so
that's the closest analogy that I have.
Someone had actually come into the chat on one of the streams. It was either while we were hanging. We were hanging out at the end of day 2, myself and Morange, and somebody was in chat from Portland talking about how they play. Yeah, and they were awesome. Like, we've got 2 sites. We don't really have a strong membership. But I was just like, well, look, here's the Discord. Jump on the Discord. Check out the Facebook pages, and come join the wider Laserforce community, because there is a tournament scene in the States that if you can tap into, maybe that helps drive numbers. So I can't remember what their Twitch name was. I have to go back and see if I can find it. But
I really don't remember the name of the person that I talked to when I was at one of the Portland sites, but they were interested in the advanced games. But they just said they didn't really have the personnel for it. Yeah. And one of the facilities that they have, the one that's out west of Portland, Beaverton, is real small in comparison.
Beaverton.
Yes, it's called Beaverton. Insert jokes here.
Did they join the Discord? I don't think they did, actually. The last person to join was Supermut, and I think that's Susie. I think. Yeah.
If it's the same Supermut, then that's Susie.
It's
another blast from the past.
Yeah, the name popped up, and I was like, wow, I haven't seen that code name for it. Yeah, I figured that was your handiwork, Stallion. To answer your question before, if you Auckland peeps come down to Wellington, will be interesting to see if that can happen with Wellington management. Yeah, so from what I've from what I've heard, that they shared a lot of the same sentiments as our old ownership did, in that they didn't like the regular member base. They felt that the regular members broke all their shit, treated the public terribly, cost them business, and you do get people like that, but I think it's not all like that. You get your bad eggs, but you get your good eggs too. Yeah. Oh, you linked the pod from a couple weeks ago. She checked it out. That's dope. But we are talking about doing a road trip at some point down to Wellington, and now that you're back in the scene where you should be, it makes it that much more positive for us to come down and play with you guys, even if, as you say, Wellington is dead. Stanley brought up some old photos from like Nat's past, and I remembered a couple of the faces that were in some of those photos, so it was really cool.
Did those faces have a lot more soft tissue in them than they do now, probably?
Look, if they're anything like me, absolutely. Why do you have 4 cheeks? But yeah, so we're keen for a road trip at some point, maybe early next year, assuming that New Zealand doesn't go through a third and fourth wave of COVID, because it'll probably happen. Who knows?
I mean, even if you guys do, you usually manage to nip that shit in the bud in like 3 weeks. So
we'll see.
It will be a small delay.
I think in a third wave, people will start getting like they'll start getting shitty for the wrong reasons and start getting lax.
Yeah.
You guys did that in the first wave.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think that'll kind of be how we follow if we go through another wave or 4.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough, but they're making progress on vaccines, and in all seriousness, I mean, the actions of New Zealand's government has saved a lot of lives, and the actions of America's government has cost a lot of lives, and that's just the unfortunate reality of what's happening.
Yeah. Boo-hoo, my country might have another 2 to 3 week lockdown.
Yeah.
Victoria.
Yeah, getting away from the heavier atmosphere that is put on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have kind of
we've
gotten
done
a little
okay.
bit better handle on the situation.
Yeah. It helps when when the population of our country is less than population of like your local Walmart. So, you're dealing with far less people. Lockdown since June, motherfuckers. That's what D&D is for, old man Al.
That's right.
Yeah, you get to hang out with us. Lucky you. Right. So, I think that's probably all that needs to be said about the Triple Threat tournament. It was awesome. Get out and support your local laser tag business if you can. If you can't, think about doing it at the very least. Because it's the thought that counts. So we look forward. We look forward to what's coming next. And what's coming next is DK is about to dip his toe back in the water, from what I hear.
It's scary. It's shark-infested water is sticking my toe into.
Yeah. I mean, if the water was acid, then yes.
Yeah. Shark-infested acid.
So you're about to head away, obviously.
Tomorrow morning, I will be taking off, driving myself and nobody else, and my plan is to make as few stops as possible for stuff other than gas. I'm packing a lot of my own foods. There won't be too many restaurant stops, anything like that, and basically once I'm in Utah, I'll be either at the hotel or at the Lasers facility, and we're going to try to just shut out the general public while we're there. So we're getting as close to bubble conditions as we can. There was a conversation that had to be had the other day because, as many people might have seen, Utah just came out with a new list of restrictions because of their abnormally high number of COVID cases, which I don't want to say fortunately because it's not a fortunate situation at all,
Mm.
but they are concentrated in the northern part of the state, not so much around St. George.
That's good.
A couple of towns over, which is one of their major tourism centers near Zion National Park, is having a bad outbreak. But
Really?
as long as none of them come to the laser tag tournament, we should be okay.
Yeah.
But it has definitely reinforced for a lot of players the seriousness of, yeah, we need to be really intentional. People need to wear masks outside of games. I'm honestly going to try playing a few games with the mask on just to see if I can pull that off. I don't know if it's going to work or not, or if just my glasses get too fogged up and I won't be able to breathe properly and stuff like that. But that's kind of the best we can do. And just to reinforce to everybody, look, no restaurants. They've cut down on social gatherings to more than 10 people. Because what we're doing is quote unquote an entertainment value. Technically, we're not really in violation of that policy, but it's like, yeah, guys, we need to make it clear that you're either at laser tag playing or you're at your accommodations, and we're not going to be able to do the usual fun socializing outside of that, and that's just kind of the limits of where we're at.
Yeah, it is a shame, but I mean, you've sacrificed this much so far to play, so. You know,
the fact that we're getting anything is kind of a minor miracle.
Yeah.
Because there was real talk a couple of days ago about whether or not we had to think about canceling given the new restrictions.
Right.
But a lot of people said, we can, I think, still do this. We've already put safety measures in place. We basically had kind of come up with the same safety measures independently as now the government of Utah is recommending for basically all businesses across the state. So maybe you guys should have just done that before, and it wouldn't have been as dire of a situation.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. We'll just keep going. Business as
we
usual.
did unfortunately have one player who needed to back out because they're in a roommate situation right now where their roommates are really not comfortable with them going across state lines to a state that has an escalating number of cases. And I'm like, well, I can't disagree with that. If your roommates aren't comfortable with that and we're all going to have to go into quarantine when we get back, that's just kind of how it has to be.
That's a pretty great selfless thing for somebody to do. So to whoever that was, mad props for making the grown-up decision. Like, I know it's not an easy thing to be like, I'll just sneak through. It's gonna be okay. Doing the grown-up thing and making the hard call to actually cancel something that you've, I assume, been looking forward to for months.
I know it was not an easy decision.
Yeah, well, good work for making that choice. Like, yeah, way to look out for other people.
I don't want to out who it was publicly, but if they want to come forward, they are more than welcome to. People will be able to figure it out once they see.
Once they don't go, yeah.
I'll have to set up some kind of sub situation, but I'm sure we'll.
DK talking about himself in the third person. His roommate is his missus.
I want you getting me sick. You sleep in the car.
DK tried contact lenses might help with the fogging up. Have you worn contacts? Have you tried playing?
I have never been able really to do contacts.
Yeah.
I've had bad experiences when I was younger, so I've just been a glasses or nothing type guy. Which has been a little bit of a struggle with the masks, but you do what you can.
Yeah, like I'm in the same boat. It's annoying, but yeah, I like contacts for me aren't an option because I see the weird dragons in my peripherals is the only way I can kind of explain it.
Well, don't do so much acid.
In
your contacts. That won't happen.
Well, I use LSD, liquid LSD, as like solution to keep my contacts in.
Okay.
Yeah. Two birds with one stone.
It's a much better preservative.
Yeah, if
recommended by the New Zealand government.
That's right. If you want to see some shit, use these contacts.
You will see the world and more.
You'll see everything. You can also buy, if you're liking anti-fog whites or glasses. Yeah, that tends, like, as a larger gentleman, I have quite a hot face as it is. So the anti-fog stuff does fuck all for me, which is really annoying. It's not fair. I found
if I position the mask like just right, I can usually get it so that I don't fog things up.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the middle of a game, that might be a tall order.
Yeah.
I think I may at least try to do it for like resupply games
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Because then if you're going to be in close proximity to another resupply player and it's not as easy to maintain the social distancing that you really should be practicing, that's a situation where I feel like, well, you know what, it might suck, but I think that would probably be wise.
Yeah.
And probably taking a cue from you guys that as much as we talk about minimizing refs, you guys managed to do a tournament without really a whole lot of reffing, and I think we kind of need to do the same. We might just have to have the head ref, and everybody else is on honor system.
Honestly, like for a social tournament, refereeing is probably not really necessary, assuming that people are willing to play within the spirit of the game, and depending on who's going, will depend on whether or not that's possible. It's a shame. It's a shame that that sometimes that isn't a possibility because people. I don't think it's a matter of the people who infringe. I think it's a matter of how people take somebody infringing, right? Whether or not they think that person did it on purpose, and then people blow up and yada yada yada. And I'm not saying that we don't blow up because like there's video evidence that's certainly not the case. But yeah, I think overall, if you can do without having that many people in the arena, probably a good idea.
Yep. So we're maximizing safety. We know it can't be 100%, but I think the reality that I talk to all players about is that, look, if everybody abides by you wear masks in the public areas and keep your travel arrangements within the rules, and you're pretty much only going in between the site and your hotel or your accommodations and just ordering in food or bringing your own food and stuff like that, as long as nobody has an active case in the tournament, we should probably be fine because we're not going to be interacting with the public that much.
Yeah.
That's just kind of where we're at. And
if you're sick, please stay home.
Yeah, just don't. If
you get sick the day before, if you get sick within the next 10 hours, don't.
Sad day for you, but don't be
it.
the guy in the movie who hides the zombie bite. We all know how that turns out.
Don't be that guy next door who ruins the tournament for other people. Yeah. So, have you got your team yet? Is that something that has been announced? Team.
Yes. So the team. Well, now put me on the spot. I guess I better give you the updated rosters.
Hell yeah. Just chatted with Kamikaze. He's been very Laserforce FOMO, I'd imagine, but I'd imagine he is a lot busier with more responsibility than playing Laserforce. So if he's listening, another massive congratulations to you, my friend. Hope everything is well with your family. You used to use a soap dish for ballet classes when you were still dancing. I don't know what that means. A soap dish for what? Acid? Is that what the... I missed you. Missed you, Auntie 2. Missed you.
Maybe it's on the events page. Come on, Facebook.
It's alright. I'll keep vamping. It's easy. It's seamless. My only suggestion is tape down the mask over the bridge of your nose.
The nose.
Surely someone's got something that actually like seals this section down from your face.
Well, if you have an N95 that has the little clip, that's usually better. My face completely melts down when I have those because I was wearing those to start with just for maximum safety and that kind of thing. But that really does overheat my face. So, okay, teams.
I still don't get it. I used to use dish soap for ballet classes when I was still dancing. Like clearly, not soap dish. But for what? What do you use it for? I don't understand. Is this to put on your glasses?
Steve needs answers.
Answer me, damn it! Clearly, this is the face of someone who doesn't understand what you do. Oh, to clean the glasses. Right on. Cool story.
Okay. So teams.
Sorry, that's mostly me.
We are a very professional operation here.
Yeah.
Team 1 is composed of Thunder, Odin's Fist, Crypt, Disco Monkey, Applesauce, and Twix. Twix is another SoCal player from Marco Vista, relatively new to the tournament scene.
Cool.
Team 2 is myself, Inferno from St. George, Slaughtermelon, Autumn, Disco Stew, and Minette.
Slam Man with the gift sub. Thank you so much.
Speaking of Slam Man, you're coming up here pretty quick. Team 3 is slotted to be Snuffles, Dylan, another SoCal player. This is the mostly SoCal team. So Snuffles from St. George, and then Dylan, Sleep for the Week, Soy Boy, and Freddie, who are all from SoCal, and then Logan from St. George. And Team 4 is Tandor, Kodama, Ace Knight, Stalker, aka Slam Man himself, Chaser, who is a kind of mid-level player from St. George, and then a switching off pair of Noah and Leonard, who are sort of newer St. George players. So they're probably going to be trading off some games.
So you get to play with your son. That's kind of cool.
I do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Slam Man, thank you so much for the gift sub. That's your generosity knows no bounds. It's very. Oh my goodness, Muhammad Hassan is now following. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Look at those lights. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually very excited because it'll be nice to play with Autumn and Manette again, just because I haven't played with anybody in SAC for a long time, so that's always obviously nice. But I've wanted to play with Inferno and Slaughtermelon and Disco Stew for a long time and never really had the opportunity. So this will be a great chance to play with some people whose games that I think are really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely looking forward to this.
Hell yeah. And are you guys, so it is random positions?
It is random positions, and we had a whole other conversation about, well, we don't want to be handling a common set of stuff that we're drawing out of a cup and all that, just minimize exposure. So Inferno very helpfully wrote a little script, and we now have a little website for it that will randomize the teams. So I think we're just going to have the head ref assign that and run it off their phones for each game, and then probably just write down a little post-it note for each captain what their positions are.
Right on. Slammin said, wow, DK doesn't want to play with me. Sad face.
I always want to play with you, Stalker, but I couldn't rig it to get you on my team. We'll have a good time.
So, Matt in chat has asked a very important question, because when somebody follows, there's a little gif of you and me riding a particular roller coaster. And he asked, why is the roller coaster going backwards?
Because it's awesome.
Because it's awesome is the correct answer. Thank you for playing.
Yeah, you had to pay extra for that shit.
Tariq with the follow. Thank you very much. As you'll see, we are going backwards. You're from Egypt. You follow from Egypt. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming to hang out with us.
Our first Egyptian sub.
That's awesome.
That's crazy.
Thank you so much.
That's amazing.
Oh, there's a crew of you. Welcome,
what
everyone.
What did it cost? Like $10 Australian to have to go backwards?
Yeah, it was. You had to pay extra.
Yeah. And at first, I remember, I think both of us were just like, pay extra for one ride a roller coaster. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We're just like, shut up and take my money.
Yeah. We did it the first time, and it was terrifyingly amazing. It was so good.
Yeah. I'm sure I did it at least 3 times, if not 4 or 5. So I definitely threw away some dollary dues, as they say.
What the heck is going on? What? I don't understand your questions. Do you mean about the guys following us? We got a crew. We got a full crew.
We got a hype train going. We're just internationally famous now.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't know. People look for stuff on the net.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
internet is a wonderland of epic things, and we're introducing them to the world of the resupply now. I don't know what's going on. That's okay.
Team, we appreciate it. Why is Than not on screen? Than is not here today. He is doing family things.
It's his D&D week.
D&D week.
It's D&D family week.
Exactly right. Right on. So yeah, I am looking forward to seeing actually watching some games this week.
Yep. So hopefully we'll have the stream up. That should be on, I think it's just the Laserforce tournaments Twitch stream, and then like I said, the plan, hopefully it will work out, is on Odin's channel, Odin's Penguin. Grak is going to be doing some commentary and stuff like that.
Maybe I'll try and rehost so I can get some credit for everyone else's hard work again. So,
yeah,
what's the link for the streams? I don't actually know what the links for those are. I don't want to touch anything in case my computer blows up. But if anyone's got any links that they could put in for for
Don't
Laserforce
have the
tournaments.
links, but the Twitch channel is, I think it's just Laserforce Tournament.
Yeah. No S?
Not from what I'm seeing. I'm seeing twitch.tv/Laserforce Tournament. No S on the end.
Thanks for stopping by, Mahmoud. Appreciate it.
But I will post a link to it.
Yeah.
If once we get that all set up,
There we
or
go.
Tandor will, or Thunder will, somebody will pop it up in the Laserforce Tournaments group, I'm sure, and maybe if we can get it on the Discord and all that.
Yeah. Matt's got it covered. He's got a link there.
Nice.
Odin, if you happen to be around at some point or watch this, can you feel free to check your link to your Twitch channel on Discord as well.
I will tell him because I'll be at theirs in a half hour getting my hair done.
Perfect. Than is an occasional member of the Resupply if and when he chooses to
Facts.
deign us with his presence. Exactly right.
Facts.
Cool. Well, was there anything else that you would like to talk about this week?
I think that's about it. Just wish us luck and good health, everybody.
I really hope that everything goes smoothly, that nobody catches anything that they can't get rid of whilst they're in Utah, and also COVID. Hopefully the tournament gets played in high spirits. Hopefully there's no, minimal drama. And I hope that you have an amazing time playing the game that has brought all of us together. Because why else?
Including our new Egyptian friends.
Exactly right. They were like, "Hey, we have Gen 8 over here, suckers." Yeah. Okay. Well, but for this week, I have been Guy Next Door.
I've been gray-haired DK.
And Than's been in chat somewhere as well. Always remember to backtrack, kids. We will see you next week. Take care.
Peace out.
Appreciate you guys stopping by. Love it. It's awesome. Thank you. Where's the button? Can't find the button. Here's the button.
I can't hold this up forever.
I've been throwing daggers in the night. Sometimes I just have to